Go.
Hi Ayshia.
Hi Aisha, how are you doing?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm doing good.
What are you doing?
I'm just trying to record, just walking around EC.
Oh,
just
that's cool.
Yeah.
What are you
That's
doing
pretty
that
cool.
for?
So I'm trying to understand like my displacement of identity and just like walking around, and I was thinking of doing a voiceover in this video and stuff. So
That's really cool.
yeah. So how's your Tuesday going?
Busy, I guess.
It's busy?
Yeah, Mondays and Tuesdays are always quite busy.
Yeah, postgraduate
But,
day.
yeah, but luckily I've had a stack of pancakes to give me energy.
Oh my god, don't get me jealous now. Go ahead.
You can go and get some later as well.
Yeah, I've never had like pancake days. Like,
Yeah.
I've never heard of that, so you should
I
really
think
do
it's
that.
like a Christian
Is it?
thing, yeah, but I don't understand the symbolism behind the pancake. Maybe it's sort of like how they had to eat flat bread or something.
Or maybe it's
during
like-
Exodus.
Yeah, or maybe it can be like kind of the, what do you say? Maybe it can be kind of like the celebration of a famine or something, end of a
Yeah, exactly.
famine. Oh, that's what you were meant to say.
Carry one of them.
Oh yeah. Just the camera back. No, that's heavier, so you can do that. Yeah. So how's it going? Like, what is your project about? And
So I'm working on 2 projects at the moment. One is for my project space, and then the other one is with it's for a group exhibition that I was writing up the plan for in the morning, because we had a meeting yesterday about it. We're going to have another meeting again today because one of the boys wasn't available. So yeah, it's like that's just what I'm going to be doing.
stressful times, eh?
Yeah, but it's fun. It's fun. And what are you doing? What are you doing today?
So I'm just gonna go around EC and take photos of where I'd like to put my degree showpieces. So like what I'm doing is I'm kind of like just talking about my experience in Edinburgh and like kind of like further research from my dissertation.
Yeah.
So like in my dissertation I was actually talking about my displacement and how other artists and literary authors, how they were talking about displacement. Like I was talking about Mona Hatoum, and I was talking about Salman Rushdie and how they are bringing about their displacement through their literary, like Mona Hatoum, who's an artist, and Salman Rushdie, who's an author of books.
And what is their nationality? Like, where are they displaced from?
So Mona Hatoum is originally from Palestine, but when she studied in London, there was a war that broke out, so that's why she had to stay in London. And Salman Rushdie is Salman Rushdie is from India, who displaced to Pakistan, and then from Pakistan moved to US, then UK. So a lot about, and he talks about this really. He comes up with this really interesting concept of imaginary lands. That even though you have. Even though you're in another land, you still think about your memories of the land that you belong to and your heart, or you're still attached to your land, and that's why you feel this great sense of attachment and want to like hold on to the culture.
I feel like that's like with Cyprus. Even though I was born in Scotland, like I grew up in Cyprus, so I feel I feel that way about Cyprus, I guess, because it's got like a kind of like a rich and interesting history.
Ah, okay. How long were you staying?
So I went when I was about 8 years old, and then come back to the UK for a bit, and then went back again when I was about 11 or 12. Yeah. And then just like spent all of my teenage years in Cyprus, and then come back to the UK when I was 19 to have my son.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is Cyprus like, I'm not really familiar with Cyprus, but is Cyprus a conservative country, or is it like a bit more liberal? Like I know Saudi Arabia is very...
Yeah, no, Cyprus is not very conservative. They're very kind of laid back and I'd say left wing. It's a Mediterranean country, but it has lots of like Greek and Turkish and Armenian and Middle Eastern influences in it, and it was also colonised by Britain as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it must be like, what do you say? It must be kind of a displacement for you as well, because you were born in, you were born in Cyprus, but you lived most of your life in Scotland.
I was born in Scotland, but lived most of my life in Cyprus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you could feel like, okay, like, oh, I'm from Britain, but then I live in Cyprus.
Exactly.
So you can feel that the same. Okay. Do women over there wear the burqa, or they don't? Okay.
No, they don't. Even the Muslim women don't wear it. They're more like just mini skirts.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like more open. I mean, they wear like mini skirts and shorts, and they don't really kind of like wear anything that covers them up too much. I mean, maybe some do. The older grandmothers, but it's not necessarily a burqa they wear. It's more like just a headscarf. Just to keep their hair out their face when they're cooking or
Oh, so
or
it's not
whatever.
exactly like a necessity to like like this thing.
No,
And
no.
is there like in Saudi Arabia? Like go here. Okay. Like, is there like segregation of society like between men and women? Because there's not at all. Oh, okay.
Not in Cyprus, no.
So that's only in Saudi Arabia. Like, oh,
and
okay.
I'm not sure what other countries they might have that in.
No, because I remember like when I was a kid, in every weekend, me and my family, we used to go to what is that little Bahrain? So Bahrain was like 4-hour drive away from Saudi Arabia. And we used to go through the desert, and it was so amazing. But we always had to like be wary of all the checkpoints and like, because in the car
had to be covered.
no, like they were more liberal with the headscarf.
Yeah.
But with the burqa, they wanted you to be covered. So every checkpoint, I'd have to like cover up and be like, oh, I hope they don't see me and all that stuff. And then, and finally, at Bahrain, like me and my mom felt the freedom of like not having to wear the burqa, because in Bahrain you don't really have to. So it's more liberal. So it's only in Saudi Arabia.
I've actually heard that Bahrain has like one of the highest life expectancies in the whole world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was like doing research, because I'd really like to go to like Lebanon or Syria or any of the Middle Eastern countries, because I really love the Middle Eastern culture. Because it's quite, I don't know, like it's got a rich history.
Do you want to sit down here and just talk? Like,
Because it's got like a rich history, and I want to like just be able to go and see it for myself.
I'm gonna point the camera to us and sit and talk, if that's okay. Are you comfortable with the camera? Anyway, I'm gonna edit all this out. So it's
Okay.
So. Alright, is that alright? Oh. Don't fall. Okay, got it. I need to place the thing a little higher. So. Okay. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's only your midriff from here showing.
Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, no worries, yeah. Sorry, you were saying you wanted to go to Cyprus and the Middle East.
Yeah, like so the Middle Eastern culture, like I think it's just so rich, like with history and especially like since all of the major religions come from the Middle East, like Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they all originated there, which is quite interesting. So
It is quite interesting.
it's like nice to, even though I'm not like necessarily religious, I think it's interesting to find out about that history. Yeah.
That's true. Like, I believe that even I'm not really religious, but then it just like when I was a kid, I was brought up in a Christian missionary school for like maybe 2-3 years, and then from there I went to a public school. And because India is very diverse, so you can like imagine like so many like, religions and everything. And then from there a private school, and then from a private school to kind of a public private school, I don't know. And then I moved to like Saudi Arabia, and the huge displacement was basically like to like, I mean, my religion or like the religion I was born is Hinduism, but I don't really believe in it. I mean, I do believe in Hinduism, but
you don't practice it as much.
I don't practice it as much because I just feel like all religion kind of like concentrates on just being a good individual and being a good person in the society. So I kind of take all the good in every religion rather than just being like, no, like don't eat beef, don't eat this, and everything. Just being like, just be a good person. That's all you really need to be in society. And it's so weird because like in India, my religion is considered to be the majority, whereas going to Saudi Arabia, I'm a minority there. And then I've seen like, so my father's has had experiences. I haven't, but my father's had experiences where some people were like, why don't you like switch your religion to Islam and everything? So
really,
and then like these kind of sensitive matters. But my dad has a really good way of kind of like dealing with these sensitive matters. Like, okay, like so now like I've seen a huge difference in the way my dad speaks. Like my dad, so our God is Govinda, so that's our God. But then now, if you see like his text, he'll say, "May the Force guide us. May the Force be with us, and may He guide us. May the Force be with us and make us have."
Can you tell me a bit about Govinda?
Govinda. So basically, Govinda is like so. There's this. I'm originally from the east coast of India. Yeah. My ancestors, everyone from there. So it's like we go for a pilgrimage almost every single time. And we climb the hill, like not climb literally, but take the car to go up there. And then like, sorry, can I interrupt on this? Are you okay with that?
I can fix this. It's just this. It's a bit tight.
Anyway, I'll be like, I need to be an anchor, so like we both can be seen. And then like sorry. And then we go up on a hill, and it's so weird because like this hill is so pure. There's no alcohol. There's no fuel stations on top. It's like a hill station, but it's like a holy heaven place.
Wow.
Over there. It's like completely different from the city.
Covered in greenery, or is it like a desert?
Green.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and like so you have to climb uphill, and then it's very strict over there. But when you come down, you can see the difference. Like you come back to city life and bars and this and that, and so many different things, and it's completely different. It's really weird, actually. Yeah.
Do you prefer like the top of that hill to the city, or do you prefer the city?
I don't know. It's like. If you go
do you like
up
the balance between both of them?
I feel like a mid thing is good because like too pure and not pure. Like, like if you take too pure, like there's no fuel stations over there because it's a hill and it's entirely dedicated to God, and then there's no bars over there. And then everything closes by 10 o'clock, and everyone like gets up at 5 o'clock, and like there's this huge crowd, which sometimes I don't understand because we're meeting the idol, like Hinduism accepts idol worship. Right? So we're meeting the God at the same time, at the same place. He's not going to go anywhere. He's just going to be there. But then like there's this huge amount of crowd pushing and pulling and everything. So I'm like.
But that's quite an oxymoron because you're meant to be pure when you go to this hill, but people are pushing and shoving at each other, and it's that kind of like contradicts the purity of humans, because if you were pure, you would just be patient or relaxed.
Then, like, everyone's like rushing, and then I'd always wonder in my head. My dad would like. If after this pushing and pulling, my dad would always be like, "Oh, we had a very nice pilgrimage. We had a very nice." Darshanam is basically blessing, blessing. And then I'd always wonder, why is Dad saying why is he saying it's good? I mean, there was a lot of, yes, we did see God, we got his blessings, but then the people, like, they pushed and pulled, and then I would never like say anything because my dad's super religious. So like, for example, if suppose you missed a temple, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't talk about it at all, because if you miss a temple, he'll drive all the way back to the temple, and he'll think, because he doesn't want to like
upset the gods.
No, not upset the gods, but he's super religious, and there's a reason for him not to have done that. And if I bring it up, then he'll feel bad about doing
in his
that.
heart. Yeah.
And then he'll have to go doing that. So all these things that I've never observed as a child, I'm observing right now.
And how does that affect you when you're in Edinburgh? Because is there any temples, like Hindu temples here? Is there a temple for that particular god?
There is. I don't know if you know Leith.
Yeah, I know Leith. Yeah. I've not been like lots of times, but I know it. Yeah.
So there's a like, okay, over here also is very interesting, right? Because there are security doors. In the temple. So like you need to press the buzzer, and then someone will see you through the intercom and then let you in. And then there's sometimes police guards in the temple, because in case there's any like
terrorism or
not terrorism, but any fights against religion or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah. So I mean, I've seen like there were like two. Last time I went, there were like 2 police cars outside the temple.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. Or was within the temple, and it was so strange. And over here, I feel like I have 2 avatars. So I have my like the Western avatar, which I'm portraying right now, and the Indian avatar, where I wear like very traditional clothes and like wear makeup and everything, and go out and.
Well, which one do you have a preference, or?
I don't know. I mean, like in India, even though you don't have to wear traditional dresses all the time. You know the kurta?
Yeah.
So sometimes many people just wear the jeans and kurta, and that's just
I've seen
the Western.
Is that like long top?
Yeah, with the slits on the.
It's almost like what maybe Egyptian people would wear as well, like
a thobe. Is it the thobe?
It's like it's not an abaya. You know an abaya?
Yeah.
But it's like something that's just a long kaftan.
I love kaftan.
Yeah.
So they are.
Yeah.
I feel like they have the owl sleeves.
Yeah.
My mom has a kaftan, so I
like kaftans.
It's like it's such an unusual shape. It's like a square, but then like it feels like.
I have like maybe 3 or 4 kaftans at home. I really love them. I think that's why I also love deserts, because I'd love to just be in a desert in a kaftan.
Oh, yeah. Like the true Middle Eastern, like imagine like a very dramatic scene, like with the desert sands, like pushing around with the kaftan and walking.
But I look too white to do that, I guess.
I'm sure like once you go to like the desert and stay there for like half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe like.
I'll get red.
Yeah, definitely. Or self-tan maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good for your skin or bad for your skin, like the lotion.
I just think like darker skin colours are more beautiful than white skin colours. I don't know, like I just think
beautiful.
I know, but I think it's maybe because I also like have it, and also like to do with the.
What's that tattoo?
It's like an Egyptian one.
Is it? Oh wow.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of, right? It reminds me of like you know the mummy that had like loads of like tattoos. It reminds me of that.
It could be, So it's like an Egyptian tattoo that I've done.
So cool.
But
I feel like all the colours are beautiful.
Yeah, they are. I think that just when I see like the culture I'm from, and then the colour of my skin, it doesn't match. Because it's like a bit. Because I have a Middle Eastern or Indian or Pakistani name or African name, Ayshia, and then like when people see me, they're like they don't understand how I got that name because I'm so like just look European.
You were telling me about the experience, about the job interview.
Yeah, and it's like quite interesting because people have like these preconceived things about names, and they assume that if you've got that name, you have to look a certain way.
Yeah.
So it's like quite interesting.
It feels like, I don't know, it feels like, I mean, this is like I don't know, a good analogy or a bad analogy, but basically it feels like, you know how like you have like these 4 categories of beads in a container, right?
Yeah.
And they're somehow connected to one another. But somehow someone has just like slit a hole in all of those containers and now they're mixed.
Yeah.
So like previously people were not like, oh, you know, like this is container A, B, C, D, like they could be like red, blue, green, yellow, like that. But now it's like, because of the slits, it all like mixed and conjoined together.
But I think that's like more beautiful than just having, you know,
today's situations.
Yeah, I just love like mixed race, mixed culture.
Mixed race babies are so like beautiful.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And then because like I think like one of the reasons it's in, like I think about that a lot is because in Christmas, like I got a DNA test because, well, my husband thought I was maybe German or Swedish background because of how I looked, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to get you a DNA test," because we wanted to do it for like a long time, and they're like kind of expensive to get them. But he got me one for a Christmas present.
Oh, and you just like do this.
You just what you do is you like spit into this little tub that comes with it, and it's really like interesting. And then it goes away. And it like comes back like maybe 6 weeks later.
Oh, okay, not quick.
So I'm like Cypriot, half Cypriot, and my mum's Scottish. So I know that there was Irish people in my mum's side of the family, but we thought there was probably like English or, you know, German, like other mixtures in there. So then the DNA test come back, and it was on the 1st of January, which was quite funny.
Like New Year,
new me.
Identity.
Yeah, New Year, new identity. I was like, 1st of January, that's like the most amazing thing, like to get that, you know. So when it come back, it was like showing that I was 50% Irish.
Wow.
So that's my mum's side. So it means that my mum's side of the family are not even Scottish, they're completely Irish. So that was like quite an interesting thing to find out, because we thought there would be like English, Scottish, you know, mixture of different Europeans, but it's like just Irish.
Do Irish have even clans? Like I know Scottish people have Scottish.
They did, they did.
So you could easily like find your clan and like
exactly. I'd love to do that as well. So like there's the Irish, and then on the Cypriot side, which is my dad's side, it was Italian, which was really like interesting, and Middle Eastern, and Armenian, and what else? Greek and Balkans. So there's like this like mixture as well, and then that was like amazing because I've always felt drawn to the Middle East. You know, I love like warm weather, I love deserts.
The culture, the food.
The culture, the people, like I just love that atmosphere. And it makes me really sad when I see what's happening at the moment, which is also it's Western influences doing a lot of these problems in the Middle East. You know, like greed for money and resources, like is creating a lot of the problems in the Middle East. So that makes me really sad. So it said that from the Middle Eastern part, it broke that down into Egyptian, Syrian, Lebanese, and also Iran, Iraq. So it's like a mixture of all of these Middle Eastern cultures that's inside me, which I find fascinating. And then then you could put the same DNA test in another website, which read it again, and the same stuff come up, but then it broke it down more into like African DNA, like round about 10%. So then it means like my dad has it a lot, like he'll have like double what I've got, and then that could also be through, I don't know, intermarriages and like everything, like, so that's like really fascinating. But it's like what I'd really love to find out is like how like my ancestors met each other.
I would, yeah.
Because the Irish one is fine because it shows you like this, basically the Irish side of the family was in Ireland for like forever. They never went anywhere else, and they also married in the same area, in the same clan. So that's why that part is just so like perfectly weighed out, like it's 50% Irish. But I think the Middle Eastern or the separate part is a lot more interesting because I did not think there would be like Italian, I'd have Italian blood.
Maybe university, maybe they met during.
I'm the first in my family to go to university.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
but there's also like Cyprus has like been colonised like quite a few times throughout history, and the Italians did like colonise Cyprus, the Venetians, the Romans, but then there's also there was like Greek Italians who might have also been connected to Cyprus, so we like stuff like that as well. And then there was also like the Greek influence in Persia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, like this is like just it's fascinating, and I'm always like thinking, so there's like also Armenian, but I'm like wondering who is it a grandmother, is it a grandfather, like how did they come together? Because there was
They weren't like social media.
because Armenian people were displaced by the Ottomans,
Okay.
you know, like 100 years ago, and the like land was taken away. So a lot of Armenian people would have maybe emigrated to Cyprus or Greece or the surrounding area. So like I'm like wondering like maybe it was an ancestors in Cyprus and married an ancestor of Middle Eastern descent. Like I don't know. Like I just find it really fascinating. Like, but I don't know how to find it out. In order to find that out, I'd probably have to go to Cyprus and do a lot of like looking into the archives.
Library, the archives over there, but I don't know if it's only.
I don't think that would have this like Cypriot records. For the Cypriot records, I'd probably have to go to Cyprus and find it out. Yeah.
I really wonder what my DNA is. I mean,
Yeah.
I keep on thinking that I'll just be 100% Indian because my mom's Indian, my dad's Indian. I'm like, well,
But there's like so much like diversity in India. Like there's the Pashtuns. You know Pashtuns?
no, I don't know.
So the Pashtun, I think they're like connected to India, but they're Indian people, but they've got really blue like eyes. Or like, I can show you a picture. I think I'm like, hopefully I'm not saying that wrong.
No, but definitely I don't have blue eyes.
Yeah, but it's like just how people have mixed over the years, I guess.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I would have some African descent in me.
Yeah.
Because we have been all descended from Africa to like different countries and continents. Pashtun, Pukto.
They're actually like they're linked to the Afghans.
So Afghanistan's
Pashto.
like India.
Yeah,
Pakistan,
yeah.
Afghanistan.
See, they look like.
Oh, they do look like Indians, but. Oh, okay. How do you feel about the Pashtuns?
Because I was like doing research, like quite a lot, like because I'm fascinated by Afghanistan as well, and just like all that culture, and Tajiks, and so they're more like.
I think she's Indian.
Yeah.
Definitely she's Indian. Because I think she's an Indian actress, something. Yeah. But I feel like I'll have somewhere. I know for a fact that I don't think I'll have any British British blood in me.
And if it is, it'll probably be like from the
colonization.
colonization.
But the thing is that we were only in the south. So the south was not really colonized that much. The north was much more colonized.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. But if my guess was right, maybe you'll have African descent and Indian. That's it. That's how interesting my DNA is. Basically.
But that's like fascinating as well.
Or maybe Middle Eastern, because sometimes
Middle Eastern, yeah.
I think I remember having this conversation with my mom. I'd ask her, like, how do you know if she can recognize features on the face and kind of figure out where they are from. And everything, like in India, but I don't think she knows. But then, like, sometimes we talk in our in our mother tongue, and we'll be like, oh, she looks so Indian. Like, I can't believe that she's actually Arabic, like that.
Yeah.
So, you never know, maybe.
Exactly.
But like, it's crazy how that region it's so looks so familiar, like so
like
similar.
connected.
Yeah. Maybe like few differences, like maybe the noses would be a little more pointed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a common feature for
It is, yeah.
Eastern,
Middle Eastern people.
like sharp eyes.
Yeah,
pointed
like more
nose.
like pointed noses and well, I think so anyway. Like